Ever since I was a jit, I knew I was a winner. I pray to God forgive me cause I'm a born sinner. Got more on my plate than a Thanksgiving dinner. Gotta save for rainy days cause shit do get thinner.
Yo, we giving it up, man. It's your boy Jumpout L.O. And you tuned in to check your mental. And today I want to talk about something that I noticed about myself, right? And that's that I always used to strive to be the nice guy, right? I always try to be the nice guy and go above and beyond to do things for others. But I noticed that I would neglect my own needs to put others in front of mine. And what happens when you do that is that sometimes you could build resentment, because since you don't want to argue, you don't want to come off as you always have something negative to say, you kind of put everything to the side. Or you, let's say for example, you got something to do, but somebody will call you, you'll put what you have to do to the side, and instead of addressing it or saying, yo man, I actually can't do it, because you don't want to say no to somebody, or you don't want to hurt their feelings, or you don't want to be looked at as the bad guy, and you want to please everybody else, but you forget to please yourself, right? I'm here to say this, man. It's okay to be the bad guy, respectfully. You don't have to be mean about it or disrespectful about it, but just let people know, like, hey man, today's not a good day, I can't do it right now. And don't make yourself so available for others, because what happens is you create things, or you think that person's supposed to know how you feel, and that's not fair for that person. They don't know how you feel. They don't know that you felt some type of way, that because you said yeah to something you could have said no. When people have somebody that's nice and is doing things, they're not going to point anything out, because you're doing things to benefit them. So for them, they don't see nothing that they're doing wrong. So it's good to address things right there and then. And that's a problem that I used to have the most, is addressing the issue right there and then. I'll do something even though I didn't want to do it, or go places I didn't want to go, just to please a person. And then that resentment is planted in your brain now, because now you're already starting to have different thoughts about that person, because you didn't address it right there and then, how you really felt, right? So now you create issues. And then what I noticed that I would do is I'll cut the person off completely without saying nothing, and have them wondering or thinking that, damn, this guy was good with this guy, he just cut me off without saying nothing. It's because you done let little things that you done nipped little things in the butt that you should have talked about, instead of waiting until you're fed up and you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna cut this person off. I don't want to deal with them. I don't want nothing to do with them. It is what it is. But then that becomes a pattern, and it becomes a point in your life that you start to be alone, because you're so focused on trying to be liked and be the nice guy that you neglect your own stuff. And then you cut people off when you feel like they're taking advantage of you, or they're not seeing your point of view, or they're not noticing that they're doing certain things that bother you. It's because you don't speak up. You don't speak up and say, yo, I don't like this, bro. Oh, I don't like this situation. How can we work on it? And have conversations. And I'm keeping things on me, because it is on the eye, right? And that's the thing that I'm working on now, because I have to be able to have uncomfortable conversations, because if a person can have an uncomfortable conversation and come to a mutual agreement with you, if they can't have those conversations, then that person is not for you. But as friends or acquaintances, you should be able to grow from these conversations. And that's what I learned from my previous friendships, of things that just went wrong. Part of it was me. Part of it was me not communicating and wanting to be the nice guy so much that I neglected my own needs. So I did so much for others, and then when you don't get that in return, you feel like they're trying to play me, and why come they don't see this? Because you never expressed it. People love when you do things for them, so they're not gonna notice when the love is not returned back. And I also learned this: when you do something, don't do it because you expect somebody to do something in return, or you expect them to love you the same way, or you expect them to treat you the same way. No, do it because you want to. Because when you develop these expectations, That's when disappointments come. Because when they don't treat you the way you want to be treated, now you feel some type of way. Now you're upset all of a sudden. And when you don't address it, it becomes like a little cancer that keeps growing and growing and growing until you explode. Then you're like, you know what? I'm not rocking with this person. And they don't even know why, because you never addressed it. And that's a problem that I had from my childhood to my adulthood. And I said, you know what? It ends now. I cannot continue to try to please everybody and forget to please myself. I can't keep doing that. I gotta please me. I gotta make sure I'm straight. So now I'm having these uncomfortable conversations, whether you like it or not. Because I'm gonna tell you how I feel. I'm gonna tell you what I feel is going wrong. I'm gonna tell you how I want things to be done. And if you don't like it, that's okay. But at least I'll let you know how I felt and you know where we stand. Because it's not fair for the next person not to know and just go off assumptions of what they think. Because when you cut them off cold turkey, they looking at you like, man, what the fuck did I do to this dude? Like, I thought everything was cool. I thought this was this. I thought this was that. But it was little situations that you done let pass and never addressed because you want to be the nice guy. I'm here to say you don't have to be the nice guy all the time. It is okay to have these conversations respectfully, because as long as you don't disrespect anybody, and as long as you treat everybody fair, you can have these conversations and come to agreements, and that's how friendships grow. But that's something that I had to learn the hard way. I had to lose a lot of people to come to this realization that, hey man, I have to do things differently, because I'm going to keep being alone and I'm going to keep having the same predicaments. And every time I feel like people aren't seeing my niceness, I'm gonna cut them off. When in reality, you don't have to be so nice just to be liked and to be accepted. Be firm, be fair, be just. Don't do things to please other people. Do things because you want to do them. And when you have something that you don't like, bring it up. Talk about it. Don't do the things that I did in the past. That's the advice I want to give everybody. Don't focus on being liked or being loved. Focus on being fair. Focus on you getting your point across and letting people know how you feel at that moment. Don't let things linger. Don't let things just don't brush it off like, oh nah, it's cool. I'm okay with that. Oh, okay, I'll go, no problem. Oh no, I don't got a problem with that. I'll do it. Cool. Nah. Say nah, I can't do it right now. I'm busy. And people should understand. If they don't understand that, then hey, guess what? They're not for you. If they can understand that you can't be there for them, or if you always got to work around their schedule and they can't work around yours, hey, then this is not a mutual thing. I gotta go. But then that's when you talk about it and come up with an agreement, and you work around each other's schedules or work around things that benefit everybody, not just things that benefit one person or being lump-sided, so you won't feel like somebody's playing you. Talk about it. Because that's the importance of communication. And that's something that I lack. Communication. But I'm learning, and I am admitting of my wrongs, because I don't want to continue this pattern of me just cutting people off, because it's not healthy, because you end up alone. And as humans, everybody needs somebody. Everybody needs somebody. Whether people sit here and say, nah man, I'm good, I don't need nobody. We all need somebody to lean on. We all need somebody to talk to. We all need somebody to listen to us, to hear us. We all need somebody. So have these uncomfortable conversations. Talk about it. And remember, if they're for you, they will understand, and they will come they will come through a mutual agreement that benefits for everybody. And like I said, if they don't, then they're not for you. But it is what it is. At least you know that you tried, and that you put it all on the table without having no hidden motives or you holding things in that built resentment. Because once you build resentment, that's when you're going to want to cut them off, and you're not going to want to be bothered. You're going to want to just do your own thing and be like, you know what? I don't want to be bothered. So don't wait until that happens. Do not wait. Address situations as they come, because you don't want that cancer to keep growing. You want to nip it in the butt right at the beginning and talk about the things that you don't like and talk about the things that you do like, and just conversation. A conversation can change everything, because people don't know what you're thinking. Stop thinking that people know how you feel if you don't let them know how you feel. That was one of my biggest problems. Nobody knew how I felt but me, because I never talked about it. So talk about things, address things as they come, and don't wait till things explode that you don't want to deal with nobody anymore. So I'm gonna end up with that. Communication is key, and make sure you communicate. Talk, because that's the only way you will grow. So you tuned in to check your mental. It's your boy Jumpout L.O.